Hello everyone, it is Joe here from SnakeDraft FPL and welcome back to another live stream. We've got a jam-packed evening today. Looking firstly at the SnakeDraft League review. I know all the league members are sat in the chat desperately waiting for me to tell them how good their team is. So we're going to be doing that first of all, mainly because I couldn't be bothered to do it in a video, so I thought I'd just do it for a live stream. Then I will go through the chat. We'll do some rate my teams in the chat after that, and then as you can see from the timer in the top right hand corner, I will be doing a live draft. That is for the pyramid draft. I am currently in division 3 of 5, so we will be looking at my my team from that. Mainly, you know, I started in division 4 last year at the bottom of the pyramid, won the league, got the promotion. We're up to division 3. Let's see if we can go again this year and make it up to the championship. So can someone in the chat just let me know if you can hear me okay? Make sure that everything is working okay. I've just realized I've not updated the text box, but that's fine. I can do that quickly now. Thank you, John. Copy. Paste. Hopefully the chat, there we have. The chat is now on screen. Perfect. Restore that. And it looks like we are good to go. This over here so I can see. Oh, goodness. Barely won the league. That's very true. I beat, there's someone in the chat, Jimmy Raikkonen, you can see in the chat there. Moz, I managed to beat him by 1 point, I think, thanks to him losing on the final day. Just in the nick of time. But he got promotion as well, so we are going to be in the same league this year. So that is going to be good. Pyramid League as well, National League A. If you go in the Discord, you can see my team, the draft powering is Team B. I will do that in a bit. First of all, let's get stuck straight into the SnakeDraft League, shall we? So let me get this set up. So hopefully this works effectively. This is the draft board. We drafted in a pub, and this was post-it notes on the wall of the pub. Luckily, one of the league members is the landlord of the pub, which is absolutely ideal. So that was a pretty good place to start. Now, you can't see the picks very well on this, so thankfully I have made a full draft board. So this is how the draft went. 11-man league, and what I will say is you might be confused by some of the picks, but basically it's standard FPL. It's run on a website called Draft Fantasy. So it's standard FPL scoring, same positions as FPL. The only difference is you also get Kante points, which is 1 point for every 2 tackles or interceptions. So the defensive midfielders earn a little bit on the side, and especially like the all-round midfielders are really a little bit more valuable. So the likes of Douglas Luiz, you'll see a little bit higher up, Danilo, Paqueta, players like that do have a little bit more to their game. You will see, pop up a little bit higher than you might expect. So looking at this, there wasn't that many surprising picks. I actually think the draft was pretty strong this year, stronger than normal. There wasn't too many teams that I really didn't like. The first round was pretty standard. Haaland first, obviously. John managed to sneak in with first pick. Haaland, no surprise there at all. Salah, Bruno, Rashford, Saka have been consistently picks 2 to 5 in basically every draft I've seen, pretty much. So that is bog standard. I managed to get 5th with Saka. Happy to get an Arsenal attacker this year because I didn't manage to get one last year. Kane ended up going pick number 6, which I think at the time was pretty early. Obviously, we didn't know, how early he was going to go because it was really kind of up in the air whether he was going to stay or not. At the time of doing the draft, I think it was about 50-50. So that is pretty bold, I'd say. It's pretty early to take him. So yeah, that was interesting to say the least. Then, I mean, looking now, it looks like a great pick. Having Kane almost like 75% chance he stays now. So that looks like a really, really strong pick. Then Odegaard, KDB, Trent, Martinelli, Son to round out the first round. Nothing particularly surprising there, I would say. I've just lost the chat. Now, why has that happened? Let me try and refresh this. Hopefully I don't lose everything. Top chat. There we go. It's back. Sorry. Can someone put a message in the chat just to make sure I can see it? That would be very kind. Good on my end. Lovely. Thank you very much. Right. I will carry on. So that's the first round. Pretty standard there. And then we've been seeing this a lot lately, this absolute rush on forwards, especially early second round. And it's a little bit scary if you're in the position that, say, like Bohr or Mac are in, where they've gone 2 mids, and then you look at, Haaland's gone, Kane's gone, Jesus, Watkins, Gakpo, Hodgland, Nkunku, Jackson, Darwin, all these forwards gone. It is a little bit scary. And I think I've been seeing this quite a lot. You need to be very cautious when you're drafting a midfielder first, that you don't get into the trap that I think kind of Bohr fell into when we looked through his team, where his forwards are pretty weak. So there's one other thing you can do on Draft Fantasy that you can't do in official FPL, and that is we have flex positions. So we draft in the standard format: 3 forwards, 5 mids, 5 defenders, 2 keepers, and then once we've finished the draft and we've got our teams, the waivers are open straight away, and you can actually drop players instantly and make signings straight away before game week 1. And you don't have to stick to that rigid formation. You can drop a keeper and pick up a mid, which you'll see a lot of people have done. So let's get into the team. So what I did last year when I made a draft review video, I just picked the teams. I did it in order of teams that I liked the most, pretty much. And I just, I went through them one by one. People didn't like that in the league because they all thought I was biased. Well, this year, I got everyone in the league to send me a ranking from 1 to 10, so not including their own team, of who they thought had the best team to worst. I've collated their data, and we're going to go through them in order. So, first team. This was voted the best team. It was Dave at number 1. Now, personally, I don't think this is the best team. And actually, not many people thought this was the best team. But pretty much everyone had it from about 3rd to 5th. So it's consistent. No one thought it was bad, basically. So Ramsdale in goal, Chilwell, Mitchell, Pedro Porro, Cash, Wan-Bissaka are the defenders. He's also got Raya as a backup just in case Ramsdale doesn't play. I think this is a strong defence. Pedro Porro's interesting because I've got a sneaky feeling that Pedro Porro might not play. He was very attacking last year, but he's playing right mid quite a lot. And I've got a feeling that Emerson Royale might just start at right back. So that's something interesting that we'll have to definitely keep an eye on. Midfield, Gross, Almiron, Joelinton, Martinelli, Matoma is and Mudryk as well is pretty strong. No real bad picks there. Gross and Joe Linton are particularly good on Kante points as well. I think Almiron's going to start game week 1, definitely, but maybe not beyond that. Danny Ings looks like he may start. Then Obama's getting more and more preseason minutes. Watkins is a fantastic pick. It's just a pretty solid team. Again, I don't think it's the best team, but I can understand why no one voted it very low. Next up, we have Mac was second. Mac, I think, gets a bit of a favourable response in the rankings because he's probably has the worst track record of anyone in the league. So I think people are a little bit kind to him. But the midfield is good. Rashford, Foden, Tielemans is a little bit dodgy that he might not play. Bruno Guimaraes is a fantastic pick with Kante points because he does get involved with attacking returns, but also has very good Kante point numbers. Ferguson, minutes are looking a little bit reduced. Morris is really good, and Martial's not good. So the forwards are weak. Forwards are definitely weak. Defence is pretty good. Alisson in goal. Van Dijk, Anderson, Trippier, Collins, Gahey. Pretty standard team there, really. But not bad. You know, I again, do I think this is the second best team in the league? Probably not. But this is what the rankings told us, you know, so I've got to go for it. Third, we've got John. I think this is a really good team. This team split opinion. Some people thought it was really good. Some people didn't think it was so good. But he did get Haaland with that first pick. Maddison, Ayew, Havertz, Anthony, Enzo in the midfield is strong, definitely. Calvert-Lewin. The problem with this team is there's serious risk. Calvert-Lewin injury woes. Cancelo is definitely not going to play. I think that's a poor pick by John. I get why he's punted on it, but he's also got Tony who's out till January. Bassi, I'm not convinced will start, but he could do. Elise's out for months. He's got serious lack of depth here. Zinchenko's out. He's definitely not going to play. So we're looking at probably 2 defenders this week, which is just Robertson and Pau Torres, who's away to Newcastle, who also may not play, but I think he probably will. So we've got serious depth issues here. The team is good. The core of the team is good, but there's some substitutions that need to happen here. Next up is Ben's team, fourth. I think this is a really strong team as well. Salah is obviously the headline. Second pick. Second year in a row for Ben with Salah. Martinez in goal is strong. Double Newcastle defence. Veltman, Martinez, Robinson, good solid core defenders. Then we've got Salah, Grealish, Douglas Luiz, Benrahma, Jensen and Gallagher. I think this is a pretty good midfield for this format. He's really taken advantage of like the all-round midfielders, the likes of Jensen, Gallagher, Douglas Luiz, all good attacking wise with Kante points on top. I like the midfield a lot. Awoniyi, Isaac and Cunha, 3 forwards that are likely to be first choice, but you know, not the premiums, but definitely decent value. I think this is a really strong team. I think if Ben can use the waivers effectively, he's on for a good season here. Next up, we've got Brad. I think this is a really good team as well, especially from last in the league. So he does have first priority on the waivers. Steele in goal, decent. Ake, Gabriel, Pinnock, Mings and Disassi. He's a little bit weak in defence, I'd say. Ake probably not going to play this week. So he's probably... Disassi I don't think is going to start either. So it's probably Gabriel, Pinnock and Mings he's relying on, which is not ideal for Game Week 1 with those fixtures. So I'd probably be looking to shift things around in defence. The midfield is good. Son, Solly March, Bernardo Silva, Mbumo and Reed for the Kante points. It's pretty good. It's nothing to go crazy about, but it is definitely solid. Gabriel Jesus, Solanke and Adebayo, the forwards. With Jesus out, it does look a little bit weaker. We don't know how long he's out for, probably just a couple of weeks. Not too bad. It's a solid team. It's not. I don't think it's going to set the world alight, but it's decent, especially once Jesus is back from injury and he sorts his defence out a little bit. But yeah, it's a pretty good team. Next up, we got my team, probably the best team in the league by miles. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them. But no, I think I'm pretty happy with how mine went. So I've got Pickford in goal, Defences: Cher, Aguerd, Akanji, Hickey and Konate. It's not ideal for game week 1. The fixtures don't fall brilliantly. I've picked up Aguerd specifically for that game week 1 fixture. Hickey's got great fixtures after game week 1, so's Konate. But, I'm just going to have to kind of muddle through the first week. The midfield: McGinn, Trossard, Mount, Saka, Danilo, Gibbs, White. It's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Saka, definitely happy with. Gibbs, White, I'm happy with. The fixtures are horrendous. I've accidentally kind of gone with double Forest and double Arsenal in midfield, which I don't love. But I think Danilo's seriously underrated when you look at his returns from last season, especially combined with his massive Kante points. Mount is not amazing, I don't think, and not an amazing pick, but he does have Kante point potential playing in central midfield, and he does get into the box quite a lot. Trossard, I think, is quite interesting because he's probably not going to start that often, but I think he's absolutely lethal from the bench anyway, so I'm not that fussed about it, especially with Arsenal's really strong fixtures. McGinn is kind of a placeholder at the moment just because I'm not really sure where to go with that fifth midfield spot, especially for game week 1, where I think I'm probably going to bench Gibbs White, but I kind of want to play him every week just in case. The forwards: Darwin, João Pedro and Amdouni, I'm pretty happy with. Again, I don't think it's ideal for game week 1 because I don't think Darwin's going to start. Amdouni's got a horrible fixture, so I'm just going to have to roll with that and see how it goes. Next up, we have got Bohr. Made it to the playoffs last year for his first time, so we'll see how he can bounce back this year. Onana in goal is fine. Defence is Tarkowski, Stones, Dalot, Timber, Cucurella. Don't know why he's got Cucurella because he's definitely not going to play. Tarkowski is a decent pick. They've got good fixtures. Everton defence is a little bit wobbly, but it's not too bad. Stones is a great pick. Dallow's kind of 50-50 if he's going to play. I think he actually might, even though I have all preseason kind of thought it was going to be Wan-Bissaka. Midfield: Bruno Fernandes, Sancho, Diaz, Szoboszlai, Richarlison. Not bad. I'm not a big fan of the Sancho pick really because I just don't really want to get involved in that. Will he play every week? Especially when his output's reasonably low anyway. But it's not terrible. Richarlison's looking like a worse pick now that it seems like Kane's going to stay. He's gone for the forward line of Eduard, Alvarez, Vinicius and the punt on Balogun. I'm guessing he's hoping he gets a move, which if he does is a really good pick, I think. But we have to wait and see if he's going to get a move. But not bad. I think it's one of the better teams he's drafted over the years, to be honest. He's had some absolute stinkers in the past. Next up, 8th is Nath, the current league champion. Nath always drafts kind of weird teams, to be honest. He's got 4 Brentford players, which seems a bit excessive to me. Flecken in goal. Then it's White, Diaz, Young, me and Henry the defenders. So double. He's actually got triple Brentford defence, which seems bold considering they're not the best defence. They're not terrible, but they're not exactly a defensive side. I don't love the triple up, to be honest. I think 1 is good because they've got good fixtures, but 3 might be too much. Diaz is good. I think Young's decent. He's probably going to take corners. I think he is probably. There was an inkling he might play right mid, but I think it will be left back in the end. Rodrigo, Odegaard, Enciso, Sharda, Diaby is the midfield. Rodri for Kante points isn't as bad as in normal FPL. Odegaard's a fantastic pick. Enciso and Sharda, I don't think either are going to start. Sharda has more of a chance, I think, but I don't see Enciso starting. Diaby's a good pick, but I think the midfield's a little bit ropey. Forward line of Nketiah, Wilson and Nkunku. Nkunku, as we found out today, is probably going to be out for like 2 months, which is not ideal. Quick sip of tea. Looks like he's going to be out for like 2 months, which is actually pretty ropey if you've picked him, especially if you take him second round, because I think if he's out for 2 months, I would say he's probably now mid-4th round at best, which is unlucky. If you've picked him and he's not even played a game for you yet, it's very unlucky. So yeah, I think this team is fine. I'm actually playing him in game week 1, and I was quite worried about it. But going actually through player by player, he may well have no forward start this week. Nketiah is kind of 50-50. I think Nketiah might start just because it's a weaker team, and we can probably get away with playing Havertz in midfield. Wilson is a coin toss with Isaac. I think Isaac's probably favoured, but we don't really know. And obviously Nkunku's out, so yeah. I can understand why this team split opinion in the league. Next up is Jord, ranked 9th. Jord is certain he's got the best team. I think it's okay. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as people think, I think. So he's got Pope in goal, good keeper. Defensive Trent, Gomez, Thiago Silva, Zuma, and Hill, which I think is a placeholder for Gvardiol. If I remember rightly. So once Gvardiol's in, it's probably not a bad defence. Double Liverpool is maybe not ideal considering some of the attacking lineups we've seen in pre-season. The defence, Rice, Bowen, McAllister, Barnes. Sorry, the midfield, Rice, Bowen, McAllister, Barnes, Johnson and Kovacic is okay. I don't think it's brilliant. McAllister will probably do well because he will pick up some KP, as will Rice. Rice will probably get forward a little bit more at Arsenal as well. Bowen and Barnes are good picks, although I don't think Barnes probably start. I don't think Barnes will start game week 1, unlikely. I don't think Johnson will play either. Kovacic probably will, so I'll probably start him. I'm not sure what George's up to there. I'd definitely start him over Jimenez, who I also don't think will start game week 1. Welbeck is looking like he may well start. And Gakpo, I think, is a fantastic pick. So, not a terrible team. As you can see, the teams are all pretty bunched, I think. I don't think there's that much in it between everyone. Next up is Connor. This team was getting a lot of abuse during the draft. A lot of abuse. People didn't like it. And I can see why, because it stinks for the most part. So, the team is Vicario in goal. Defense of Shaw, Dunk, James, Colwill, Webster and Romero. That is strong. The defence is good. The midfield, KDB, Sterling, Eze, Gordon, Caicedo, Casemiro. It's not that bad. The midfield is not that bad. KDB is probably not going to start game week 1, I wouldn't have thought. And if he does get consistent minutes, obviously we know how good he can be. The worry is that he just gets his minutes managed a little bit too much. Sterling, by all accounts, has been pretty terrible in pre-season, but he can play terribly and score. We know that. So the jury's very much out with Raheem. Eze's a very good pick. I've got nothing to say on Eze. Gordon, I think, probably will start the season for Newcastle, so I think he's actually not a terrible pick. Caicedo, we don't really know what's happening with him. I guess as the season progresses, Caicedo will probably become more relevant. Forwards, Wissa and Mitrovic. He also does have Hodgland lined up as well. He has a placeholder for Hodgland, so we'll see what happens there. Mitrovic is probably gone. He's just picked him up as a just in case he stays, I think. But to have Wissa as your only potential playing forward for game week 1 is not ideal because there's a reasonable round that Wissa could go. So, yeah, I think this team is not my favourite. Last of all, ranked bottom by a distance, is Mike's team. He's broken out the 5-4-1 already in game week 1, which tells you he's not having the best time of it. Keeper is Johnston, not bad. Defence is pretty good. Walker, Saliba, Varane, Estupinan, Udogie. I think all 5 will probably play game week 1. I think all of them, aside from Walker, are nailed for the foreseeable, which is definitely a positive. The defence is pretty good, especially if Walker stays. Midfield, Højbjerg, Pereira, Kulusevski, Danjuma, Jota, Buendia. Surely he's not going to bench Jota. Mike, are you watching? What are you thinking? You cannot play this lineup. And Jackson. Oh, he's losing the plot here. This is doing my head in. He's thinking of playing Danjuma and Højbjerg over Jackson and Jota. Oh, Mike. You can't play Udogie away to Brentford over Jackson or Jota. Spurs defence is terrible. Brentford attack's really good. I'm not having that. Anyway, the team's not that bad. It's not as bad as it looks, especially if Kane stays. If Kane stays, it's pretty. I think it looked really bad when everyone thought Kane was leaving, but now that Kane stays, I think it's pretty good. Hodge, the Atletico player, is that a thing? I've completely missed that. Is it happening, or is this just rumour? Because that is interesting. Because I think if Højbjerg goes, there might be a chance that Lo Celso plays centre mid, and he actually might be a pick. Højbjerg started for Spurs yesterday. I'm not seeing much about Atletico. Is this just You drafted Foden and Watkins over Son and Trent last night. I don't think that's that bad. I think I'd rather have Foden and Watkins. I won't worry about it. Okay, so those are the teams. Those are the SnakeDraft teams. Yeah, as I said, the draft's always great fun. The vast majority of these teams will be very different come like game week 4. So, as I say to everyone, you cannot win the league at the draft, and you can't even really lose it. So, the waivers are where teams are won and lost, to be honest. But anyway, that's enough about the SnakeDraft League. Let me get back up this. I need to be very careful about what buttons I click. 25 minutes to go until my draft starts. So while we're here, let me pop the chat out. And how do I do this? I'll move this over here. Okay. Right. Now's the time. Send your teams in. If you've already sent it in and I've not looked, that's because I was looking at the teams. Feel free to send your teams in. What I need to know is who you have in your team, how many are in the league. That's it. So let's go. I'm going to start with Amet. Anyone below that, anyone above that, I will have missed. So 9-man league. Flecken, Vicario, Saliba, Botman, Cash, Colwell, Ake, Bruno, Diaby, Foden, March, Bernardo, Wissa, Jackson and Nkunku. I quite like it. You're unlucky with Nkunku, obviously. That's tough. There's not much you can do about that. You're just going to have to sit on him. At least you got Jackson as well. I mean, I've seen people say, I spoke about this on Twitter recently. I've seen people say that Nkunku's injury helps Jackson, but I don't really think it does, to be honest. I think that I would rather have Jackson with marginally less secure minutes, but with a better team. But yeah, at least, Jackson and Wissa is still a decent combo. You can bench Nkunku. Bernardo, March, Foden, Diaby, Bruno's a pretty solid midfield. And the defence is very good. That's exactly the kind of defence you're hoping for. Nailed on players, decent teams. I think that's a pretty good team. Next up, Jack. Before this scrolls away from me. 12-man league. Tough. Always tough for 12-man. Leno, Neto. Trent, Cash, Gahey, Colwell, Romero. Bruno, Barnes, Danjuma, Harry Wilson, Kovacic, Ferguson, Visser, Amdouni. Forwards are a little bit weak to start with. Ferguson, obviously, I love him, but the minutes in pre-season just have not been there, which is really disappointing. I think his time will come in the season, but we're going to have to be patient. We're all going to have to hold hands and be very, very patient with Evan Ferguson, because I've got a feeling it's going to be a struggle to own him for the first part of the season. But I'm confident he'll come good this year, so I'm happy to hold him and wait. Midfield is really good. Bruno, Barnes, Danjuma, Harry Wilson, Kovacic, all fun, exciting players. I really like that midfield, especially 12-man. And you've got Trent. So you've got Trent and Bruno in a 12-man league. Wow, that's impressive. Good team. Question, would you go Gvardiol if you're 4th on the waivers? Yes. From 4th, yes, I would. I don't know if you'd get him from 4th, but I would try. 12th pick in a 12-man draft. What do you think? Leno, Fotheringham is fine. So Leno, Fotheringham, Trent, Shah, Cash, Henry, Anderson. That's good. Bowen, Mbumo, Kovacic, Casemiro, Wilson, Watkins, Cunha, Ferguson. I like the forwards. Just spoke about Ferguson, so I won't go through that again for Jared. But the midfield, there's a pick in there, and I'm not gonna dig out too much. But there's a pick in there that I just cannot abide. Casemiro. You can't pick Casemiro. Drop him. Game week 1 waivers. Don't worry, there's a waiver video coming out probably on Tuesday. Get rid. Too defensive. He's way too defensive. But the team's good. You know, apart from that, the midfield's pretty strong. You got Trent. Decent defenders apart from that. You got Trent Watkins is a great combo. So yeah, good team. Get rid of Casemiro. What do you think? 10-man league. Leno, Flecken. Love it. Stones, Cash, Porro, Young, Udoji. That's not bad. Luis Diaz, Jota, Kulu, Morgan Gibbs-White, Danjuma, Haaland, João Pedro, Cunha. Love it. Absolutely love it. K9 McGurn. I love it. Where would you put Kane in your rankings now? He's back in at number 3 for me. 75% chance the bookies have got him at staying. That is enough for me to have him at number 3. Pre-season, when there was no talk of the move, he was number 2. 75% gives me enough reason to go Salah over Kane, but he's back in at number 3. Evening, how me and my friend both joined your Patreon, not knowing the other had joined. I've been waiting for this to happen. I've been really waiting for this to happen. That's so funny. They're both in your rated team next to each other. You fancy telling us which is better. Right, Helix, I'm doing it. I'm getting on the Patreon and I'll have a look right now. That's brilliant. Oh, I did see that actually briefly earlier. Helix and Rinser. Right. I'm going to go for Rinsers first. Ederson, Muric. Solid. Don't like Ederson, but at least he's got the good rotation with Muric. Virgil, Cash, Varane, Thiago Silva, Burn. Pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Saka, Gibbs, White, Kulusevski, Wilson, Billing is nice. Billing's fixtures are terrible, but he's a good pick long term. Watkins, Darwin, Ferguson is good. Good team. I like that team. Helix, let me see yours in the 8-man league. Pickford, Leno, love it. Absolutely love Pickford-Leno combo. Gabriel, Shah, Konate, Colwill, Henry, Foden, Burmo, Diaby, Bernardo, Danjuma. So you've gone for like the fun flair midfield picks. Love that. Haaland, Jackson, Solanke. Lord, that's a strong front 3 in it. That is a strong front 3. So which team's better? Keepers is pretty even, I'd say. Defence, Verge versus Gabriel, Konate versus Varane, Colwill versus Cash, or Colwill versus Thiago Silva, Henry versus Burn. The defence is like identical. Saka, Gibbs, White, Kulusevski, Wilson, Billing versus Foden, Burmo, Diaby, Bernardo, Danjuma. I think the midfield goes to Rinser. Just. I think mainly just because. I think Saka's obviously the best pick out of the 10. Then it's Foden. It's close. I think the midfield I'd give to Rinser just. Forwards, Watkins, Darwin and Ferguson versus Haaland, Jackson, Solanke is no competition. I think Helix is better. I'll put it like this. I think Helix has the better team, but I think Rinser's done better from whatever pick he was, from 4th, if you see what I mean. I think Helix has the better team, but I think Rinser's made better with what he's got out of 4th. But it's close. I think that's good. Right, back to the chat. Where was I? Harry Quinn, rate my team. 8th in an 8-man league. Pickford and Flecken, nice. Shah Zinchenko, Colwell, Dunk, Cash is strong. KDB, Foden, Richarlison, Eze, Mount. Hodgland, Gakpo, Isak. That's pretty good, I'd say. Strong front 3. Well-rounded midfield. Good draft, that. I think that's well balanced. That's a pretty good draft. It's the kind of team I'd pick, I think. Ben Hamilton, 3rd pick in 9-man league. Fabianski, Leno. Love that. Absolutely love that rotation. Shami, Kanate. Oh, he's gone in order of what he's lined up. So the defence is Shami, Kanate, Colwell, Gahey. Very, very good. Really nice. 5 solid centre-backs there. Salah, Havertz, Jota, Kulusevski, Harry Wilson. Good midfield. Really good midfield. I mean, that's one of the best midfields I've seen, I'd say. Jesus, Isaac, Solanke. Great team, Ben. James Cheeseman, the Cheeseinator. 10-man league. Flecken, Steele. Good. Powell, Akanji, Webster, Anderson, Thiago Silva. Solid. Salah, Foden, Soboslai, March, Billing, João Pedro, Jesus, Morris. 10-man league. You've smashed it. Very well-rounded. 3 good forwards. Exciting midfield. Solid defence. Love it. Where are the bad teams? I like rating the really bad teams. I like telling people they need to make 5 waivers. If you've got a bad team, send that in. In fact, I might do this someone else where I get people to send in the worst team in their league and then I give advice to that. Because these teams are great. Michael Aziz, 7-man league. Pope Steele, James Gabriel, Kanji, Varane, Moreno. Very good. Bruno, Rashford, Kulusevski, Trossard, Bernardo Silva. I don't know why, but I don't like the Bernardo Silva pick. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But I can't really put my finger on why. Every time I've been drafted, he's been available at one point and been like the next in my list and been like, nah, I don't want him. But I can't put my finger on it. Jackson, Isak, Wissa, good forwards. This is a good team. Good team. Do you think I should sell Nkunku? Probably not. Probably not. Unless there's a brilliant forward available. Probably not. Libra. Long-time subscriber. Lennon Flecko. Sorry? Let me try that again. Leno Flecken. Estupinan. I love the keepers. Estupinan, Konate, Zinchenko, Colwell, Tarkovsky. Strong. Foden, Jota, Grealish, Eze and Burmo. Very strong. Watkins, Ferguson, Awanayi. I don't know why you're so worried, Libra. I've seen you in the YouTube comments saying you're worried about this team. I think it's good. You might. I know you're gonna get itchy fingers with Ferguson when he doesn't start, but you just got to be patient. I think it's a good team. Alexei Burtsov, 9-man league. Leno. I'm seeing so many Leno Fleckens, and I love it. People have embraced the rotation. I knew that video would get people. Like when you see in front of you, like the rubbish keepers I had last year outscoring Alisson, you can't argue with it from that. Sorry, Leno Flecken, Trent, Guardiola, Lissandro Martinez, Chilwell, Thiago Silva. Strong. Jota, Trossard, Enciso, Murphy, Matoma, Wilson, Jesus and Nkunku. Unlucky with the Nkunku injury. I think you might have be a little bit light for game week 1. And Ciso, I'm not convinced will start. Murphy, don't think will start game week 1. Nkunku won't start game week 1, so that's 3. Gvardiol may not start game week 1. Only just signed. Will he get thrown straight in? He might be... Trossard might not start game week 1. It might be light for game week 1, but I like the squad overall. You might have to think about a midfield waiver if it looks like they're not going to start. 6-man, first pick. This is going to be a good team. Haaland, Jesus, Foden, Nkunku, Diaz, Mount, Kulusevski, Mbeumo, Gabriel, Estupiñán, Zinchenko, Mings, and Arna Steele. Brilliant. So good. I mean, what can you say about that? It's like an all-star team. That's so good. Journey of the Gym, 6-man league. Pickford, Raya. Might want to be careful with that Raya pick. You might need to make a keeper waiver there. Trippier, Burn, Robertson, White. Strong. Rashford, Foden, Eze, March, Diaz. Jesus, Wissa, Solanke. Is strong. Well-rounded team. Not got any real problem with the defence. Midfield's good. Real fun midfield. You're going to have fun with this team, I think. Simon Rothstein, long-time follower of the channel. Back to pre-YouTube days, I believe. And I've just lost his team. Literally as I was... Ben Hamilton, I did not skip your team. I did not. Steele. Saliba, Burn, me. Amadodzic. I love it. Oh, may become Gvardiol. Okay, fair enough. I like the Amadodzic pick. Sheffield United got a few good fixtures and they're going to be very defensive. Eze, Bowen, Solly March, Bernardo Silva, Casemiro. I don't like the Casemiro pick, Si. I don't like the Casemiro pick. There's better than that. I know it's a 12-man league, but there's better than that. Watkins, Isaac, Morris, really good front 3. Only 2 subs. I love that. In their league, they only have 2 subs. I think that's brilliant. Ben, I'm going to skip your team because I literally put it on screen and talked about it for about 5 minutes. Andy Van ter Hayden. 3-5-2, 10-man league. Steele, Chilwell, Shaw, Udoji, Diaby, Mbeumo, Billing, Garnacho, Matoma, Haaland, Pedro. Bench is Johnson, Porro, Pau Torres and Ivan Toney. Do we think Garnacho starts game week 1? I'm not convinced he will. In which case, you're probably going to get Porro off the bench, who may not start. Pau Torres probably will. I think it's a good team. You might... I don't like the Garnacho pick, I don't think. The more I think about it. I think you can find someone on the waivers that's got more fun potential this week. Gary T. Kepa Johnston. Great keeper rotation, by the way. Kepa Johnson is really good. Gabriel, Diaz, Shah, Cash, Cucurella. I don't think Cucurella's going to play personally. Son, Martinelli, Bowen and Mbeumo, Szoboszlai, Ferguson, Wilson, Gakpo. Great front line. Great midfield. Great keeper rotation. Defence is solid. I think the only pick you need to look at is Cucurella. Drafting a couple hours, your channel's been a huge help. You are very welcome. That's why we're here. Alex Escobedo, 12-man league. Vicario, Kepa. Strong. Might be too strong. Get a trade out of that in a 12-man league. Saliba, Botman, Keane, Pau Torres, Henry. Good picks all round. Saka, Eze, Barnes, Andreas Pereira, Benrahma, Isaac, Jackson, Morris. Worried about goalkeeper and waivers. I wouldn't be worried to the extent that you would drop one, to be honest, because they're both pretty good. But I would potentially look to trade one. If you could get Johnston, the Palace keeper, for Vicario, you're in a good spot because their rotation is brilliant. 16-man league. Whoa, 16-man. Good God. Flecken in goal. Bentley. Flecken Bentley, sorry. Chilwell, Cher, Anderson, Wan-Bissaka. Gusto. Taking the punt on Gusto. 16-man league. That's understandable. Saka, Bernardo Silva, Buendia, Andreas, Enzo, Ferguson, and Nketiah, Mateta. I mean, the forward line is really tight. I know it's a 60-man league and you struggle for forwards even in 10, but Ferguson, and Nketiah, and Mateta, you are rolling the dice every single game week. I would even be looking to trade the likes of Bernardo Silva or Buendia or Chilwell just for a forward because you're rolling the dice. I've lost where I was. Oh, Muscle Bob Buff Pants. 10-man, 4th pick. Fleno Lecken, great. Botman, Burn, Concert, Pinnock, Colwell, very nice. Bruno, Mbermo, Morgan Gibbs White, Mudrick, Bernardo Silva is good. Gakpo, Jackson, Ferguson, very strong. Very, very good team. I really like this team. This is my kind of team. I'd like to pick one of these up in 7 minutes' time. Can you rate my team? 10-man, Leno Flecken. If Leno Flecken flops, I'm in big trouble because I've seen about 100 Leno Fleckens. I really hope that is the dream rotation because it's everywhere. Gabriel, Shah, Wan-Bissaka, Pau Torres, Henry, Saka, Foden, Mount, Bernese, Gakpo, Awanai, McBurney. It's good team. I like the defence. Midfield is very strong. That's one of my favourite midfields I've seen. Saka, Foden, Mount, Bernese. And the forwards is not the best, but it's certainly good enough. Good team, Aruna. DMs Helix certainly will be open for the Patreon members, of course. Do not worry about that. Troy, 10-man league, 7th pick. Kepa and Sanchez. It's gone for the King and Prince strategy. Cash, Virgil, Zinchenko, Ream, Me. Odegaard, Luis Diaz, Buendia, Gibbs White, Joe Linton, Jesus, Jackson, Awanai. Front line's good. Keeper's alright. Defence is pretty good, especially once Zinchenko's back. Midfield's not bad. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the Joe Linton pick at the moment. The fixtures are pretty rough. There's competition in the midfield. Other than the Joe Linton pick, I think it's a good team. Joe Linton pick's not bad. I'm just a little bit worried about it. Why are people low on Jota? He's been so reliable and healthy. Yes, preach. He's so good. I don't get... I've seen rankings with Jota and Diaz like 25 picks apart. I can't get my head around it. Oh, that went down the wrong way. Right, I need to hurry up. Only 5 minutes till the draft. These streams go so quick. People here watch your channel so they've got great teams. Yeah, maybe. James Cheeseman's got a bad one for me. Yes, here we go. I love it. Pope Lloris. Okay, Lloris isn't going to play. White, Cher, Ake, Henry, Kilman. Defence is good. Saka, Grealish, Bernardo, Gross, Ramsey. Gross is probably going to be playing right back. Not to say he's a terrible pick, but again, not ideal. Ramsey's injured for like 2 months, so I wouldn't be picking him. Mitrovic, Wissa, and Jimenez. Jimenez, probably not first choice. I don't think. I thought he might be, but it looks like probably more likely to be Vinicius. You're right, that is not a great team. Saka, Grealish is fine. Bernardo Silva's okay. It's not the worst team I've ever seen, but it could definitely do with some moulding. The front line is bad. 10-man league. Steele, Neto. Saliba, Botman, Cash, Anderson, Udoji. Very good. Bruno Fernandes, Luis Diaz, Gibbs White, Mberma, Danjuma. I like that a lot. Jesus, Ferguson, Cunha. Good team. Very good team. No issues with that for me. I really like the midfield. That's a fun midfield. 10-man league. Edison, Turner. Oh, he's gone early on Turner. That's good. That's fun. Stones, Estupinian, Martinez, Burn, Moreno. Early on Moreno as well, hoping that he's all right when he gets back from injury. Odegaard, Eze, Mount, Gibbs, White, Christie. I think that's the first Christie I've seen. I like the pick. And Nkunku, Ferguson, Antonio. 11-man league. Anana, Steele, Chilwell, Henry, Cash, Udogi, Chalobah. Chalobah I don't think's a pick at the moment. I think he's going to be sold. I think you can just get rid. Salah, Diaby, March, Morgan, Gibbs, White, Andreas Pereira, Watkins, Jackson, Ferguson. That's a really good team, but I think Chalobah can go. That's an easy game week 1 waiver. Libra, thank you. We all love the vids. Keep it up. Best and only draft FPL YouTuber. Thank you very much, Libra. 8-man league. Leno Flecken, VVD, Diaz, Tarkowski, Udogi, Varane, Grealish, Saka, Gibbs, White, Sterling, Barnes, Gakpo, Watkins, Wissa. Good team. Midfield is really good. Really good. I don't know who you're going to bench. But it's a good team. Okay, I'm pretty nearly caught up. There's just a few more, but I'm going to have to, I'm afraid, halt it there. I may, as the rounds get a little bit less quick, which they inevitably will, I will rate a few more teams. If I refresh this, is it going to stop everything? I can never remember. I don't think so. I just need to get into... I need to open up the stuff for the draft because it is in 1 minute and I'm not even logged in, which is a bit scary. Okay, what do I need? If I didn't rate your team, if I didn't get around to it, I don't think I skipped any. I might have started after. Oh, I didn't. To be fair, I did skip your team, Simon, but I'll definitely go back to it. I definitely will go back to it. If I haven't rated your team or you missed it, then as the rounds get slowed down a little bit, then send it in again and I'll do it. It's only because I'm panicking because the draft starts in 41 seconds. Right. But yeah, I will definitely get, as long as you stay in the stream, I'll definitely get back to it. Have I even done, I hope I've done my watch list. I have no recollection of whether I did a watch list or not. Okay, I did. That's good. That is good. Although Kane is down at number 14. That needs to change. Let's bump him up. In fact, right. Oh, I need to put this on, don't I? Draft begins. Right, here we go. Where are we going to... Come on, give me first pick. Please give me first pick. I've not had a Haaland ever. Third. It's Kane. Third pick. It's Kane. Oh, I'm scared. Simba gets first. So, of the people in this league, I have played with some before. So Jimmy Moser, I played with last year. Simba I've played with in a different league. And Volta was in my league last year as well. So Guillermo I'm pretty sure is a Patreon member as well. So Haaland goes first. No surprises there. I need to check the Kane... I'm just going to check the bookies odds. Salah goes. Before I take Kane, I'm going to really quickly load up Skybet and just check the odds that he stays. Sorry, Skybet's just taking a little while to load. I hate people that take ages on round one, but I need to check this before I... I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. Oh, but I've got guaranteed good picks here. It's hard to take Kane. 75% is high. And I do think he'll stay. That's stressful. Oh, I don't know if that was a good idea. I didn't even get... Let me just check Fabrizio. I mean, I've done it now. Listen, if I drafted 2 days ago, there's no chance I take Kane there. No chance. But, listen. I think Kane's... I've said all summer, I think Kane stays. I've said it all summer. And now, the market agrees with me. Kane has said that he won't leave past game week 1, right? So if he plays game week 1, he stays. We're like a week away now. I think he's gonna stay. Right, so who's gone? Haaland, Salah, Kane, KDB, Saka, Bruno. The problem is, and this is something I've only just dawned on me now I'm in the situation, is right. So I've picked Kane first. Now, if Kane was guaranteed, under normal circumstances, I could now get 2 great mids because I've got Kane. But the problem is, if I do that and then Kane goes, I'm then even worse up front than I would have been before. So I probably need a forward anyway. So it doesn't help that much having Kane, because you can't risk it like you could. You can't risk it like you could normally. I don't think he'll go though. I really don't think he'll go. I really don't think he'll go. Right, who's gone? So, heading the game now. If you put a league in the chat, I probably won't review it until like round 8, but I will get through them. Okay, Haaland, Salah, Kane, KDB, Saka, Bruno. Rashford falls all the way to pick number 8. That's late. That is very late. Martinelli, Foden, Trent, Watkins. So I've got 5 turns. Oh, and there's some pit. Son has not gone yet. Wow. Jesus. I can't do Jesus or Nkunku, which is a shame because they're both really great. You're already gambling, so I think full send it. To be honest, I hate to admit this, but the thought did cross my mind as I was about to pick him or not pick him. The thought did cross my mind. If Kane leaves, right, this would be a great video series. Winning your league with no first pick. That is like in the back of my mind. So, I mean, that would be a great. I mean, also, what would not be fun is getting relegated with your first pick leaving, which could very much happen. Gakpo goes 4 turns. Jesus, Oh my goodness, I could get the Kane Son double up. I don't even know if I want that. I don't know if I want that. Plettenberg talks absolute nonsense, by the way. It said that Bayern was not personally informed about Levy about a reported rejection, signal there was never a deadline. Plettenberg is a mouthpiece. Plettenberg is an absolute mouthpiece for Bayern. He talks total waffle. Oh, it's me. Luis Diaz. Madison. Kunku would be good. Well, I don't think I need to go forward. I get another pick in 5 turns, so I'll just go Luis Diaz, I think. Yeah. No dramas. Kane Diaz. It's a good start if. With the way Spurs are playing the Kane Son double up wouldn't be a worse thing. No, it wouldn't. I was excited then. Angie looks like he's just going to be trying to outscore teams, and Liverpool kind of look the same. And Kunku out for a couple of months confirmed. Yeah, I'm not going there. Not with Kane. Oh, he's gone anyway. Now I say that. He's just gone now. Madison Kane double up must be tempting. It certainly is. It certainly is. I'm interested to see who Simba takes. Sam's a really good player. I'm sure that's... Yeah, he's a really good player. I'm confused. I'm going to refresh. This has gone weird. Or has it? Oh no, he just hasn't made a pick yet. I'm an idiot. How much higher would you rate Diaz and Jota? Not much. Not much. Okay, Madison goes. That's a shame. That would have been fun. Yeah, not that much. Diaz's goal earlier was class. Could be unreal with a full season. I mean, think about how good Diaz was when he came in. Like, he was amazing. He was so good. And I think he's just gone a little bit under the radar almost. Okay, I need to think about this logically because it's going to be a long time until I get another pick, isn't it? From 3rd out of 10... It's going to be like 15 picks. Bowen. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, agree. Diaz and Jota are out for a lot of last year. People forgot how good they are. Completely agree. Completely agree. Jota is prolific. Diaz is way more fun, but Jota just gets goals. Just absolutely finds goals. I kind of wish Jota was a forward, and I actually think he should be. I think it's a real shame that Jota's a mid. He should be a forward. I think actually he should be a forward and Gakpo should be a mid. I can see why they did it the other way around, but Jota or Darwin here surely, maybe Gibbs White. Eze, wow. Do I go? I'm kind of tempted to go Jackson just because of the Kane situation. Just because he's pretty much nailed on. And I'm a little bit concerned just in case Kane goes. I think I'm going to go Jackson. Because Jackson plays. They don't have any other choice. I don't see much in the Vlahovic rumours. He doesn't strike me as a Poch player, really. Gakpo will play number 8 or number 10 majority of the season if Jota stays fit. Agree. I don't think that makes Gakpo a bad pick because I think Gakpo is so good that they're just trying to fit him in anywhere they can. What's the highest place you'd take Trent at? Probably 10. Probably 10. I like Trent when you get the double pick because you don't feel like you're on the back foot as much. Jota could be starting striker this season. He just started there. Yeah, I think so. I think he'll play the vast majority. There he goes, Jota. What resources / windows do you have open during the draft? So that is a good question. It very much depends if I'm live streaming or not. So, if I'm live streaming, I normally put my ranking into my watch list. In which case, I don't need to have my rankings open. The other things I have open are my goalkeeper rotation thing, although I normally have that minimized until it gets to like round 9. I have the first 5 fixtures, and that's pretty much it. I will have open my predicted lineups, but to be honest, I never look at them because I know them. Because I've spent so much time making them, I kind of know them anyway. So I don't even have them open yet, but I may open them up if I need to think of something specific. But generally, I don't need them because especially this time of year, I spent so much time making them that they're kind of on the top of my head anyway. But what I would suggest to other people is a ranking, fixtures, first 5, like fixture difficulty, and predicted lineups. And maybe actually Twitter, just so you can search people's names and injury. I do that sometimes when I'm nervous about players' injuries. Grealish still there. That's surprising. You said you win the leagues with the waiver players. Can you explain how to utilize it best? Yes, absolutely. And I'm actually going to have a complete video on this. But clean sheets, defensive waivers are massive. Like picking up clean sheets off the waivers is reasonably easy-ish. I had about a 50% strike rate with waiver pick clean sheets last season, or waiver pick returns last season. So if you make 2 waiver picks a week, you can get generally, on average, 1 clean sheet per week, which is actually pretty big. That's an extra 5 points a week if you think that, you get the odd attacking return, the odd bonus every so often. 4 or 5 points a week is a big plus. And there will be players that explode that are undrafted in every single league. It happens every year. So those players you need to find on the waivers. And it's not just that. If you're also quite a good trader, you can do something which I kind of have in my head called combining value, where you pick up, say you pick up a player on the waivers, right? I'll use an example that I did last year in a league. So I picked up Almiron off the waivers, and he did amazing for a little while. He was about 2/3 of the way through that spell of form. I traded him I traded Almiron and Bowen, I think, for Martinelli. I think 2 for 1. Almiron and Bowen for Martinelli, and Casemiro or something. I then dropped the dud player that I'd got in the bargain and used that to pick up a new Almiron. In this case, Mitoma, because their form kind of didn't really overlap. So now all of a sudden, instead of having a waiver spot, I've got Martinelli. Instead of having Bowen and a waiver, I've got Martinelli and Mitoma. Well, then maybe you can trade Martinelli and Mitoma for a 1 up, 1 down, where you get an even better player and another dud, and then you use that dud on a new waiver midfielder. And that's how you slowly, over the course of the season, combine your value, improve your picks, and keep churning those lower tier players off the waivers, pick them up when they get form, trade them, combine the value, do it again. That is the tactic that I try and operate all year. Right, is it nearly my turn? Who's gone? So I picked Jackson, Jota, Darwin, Trippier, Grealish, Havertz, Mitrovic. Wow. Mitoma, Ferguson, Barnes. Interesting. I mean, Mitro could be a great pick if he stays. He did brilliantly for me for a spell last year. Is Almiron a viable late option this year? Definitely, yeah. I think Almiron probably starts game week 1. I think it's going to be game week 1. Gordon, Almiron, and Isaac is my guess, and it is a bit of a guess. Solanke goes. Alvarez sees, and we've got more forwards coming here. Okay, my pick in 3 turns is certainly going to be a midfielder unless there's something outstanding on here. And what's this Mbumo flag? I'm assuming it's nothing. Thomas Frank expects to have Mbumo and Onyeka available for the opener next Sunday. Of course, we need to assess them over the next couple of days. It was a dead leg for Brian, so that's why we subbed them off early. We're not taking any risks. The same with Frank. They should be fine. Brilliant. I think I'll go for him then. I don't think I have Mbumo yet, unless he goes. 2 picks. I mean, it's going to be one of these. Okay, he goes. Fucking never mind. Never mind. I shouldn't have said that. Is Hodgland in the game? I've only just realised that. I don't think he's on my list. No, he's not. Is Gvardiol? No. I think I might be ranking Mount too highly. Because pretty much every draft, Mount has been there. Hodgland is in my draft. Has he gone? Have I just missed it? He might have already gone. No. What? How weird. I don't want him anyway, to be honest. But he's definitely not in there. That's how you spell it, isn't it? Oh well. Who's gone? Gibbs White. Gibbs White. Now this is interesting. I am kind of tempted by Mount. Mount, Soboslai, Diaby. Yeah. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button there. I've just pressed remove. Good one, Joe. Mason Mount. Hodgson was in my draft. Hey Joe, Hodgson was not created 24 hours ahead of the draft, so he's not in there. Same for Gvardiol. Okay, thank you. What round would you take Gvardiol? Basically next to Ake and Akanji. I don't think... I'm seeing loads of people saying he's got to play week in, week out, but we just don't know that. I wouldn't punt on him that early. I don't think. Yeah, so he's blocked at the moment. That makes sense. They're blocked. It's like when they come on waivers too soon to the waiver deadline. It's the same thing as that. DRB better. Do you know, I actually, when people say why, this is basically nothing to do with rankings, but Szoboszlai, DRB, Trossard and Mount were the 4 options. I own all of them so far, 1 in each league. Apart from Mount. So I thought I'd just go for Mount, just to spread the risk around the leagues. But I probably would have picked DRB. Straight up, probably. But I don't have a United boy, so ticks that box just in case they're really good. I've already got Luis Diaz, so I don't really want to double up with Szoboszlai when I think Szoboszlai is probably a worse pick. So that's why I went for Mount. I think there's situations like this, it's really a coin flip. Like, none of us really know who's going to score the most out of Szoboszlai, DRB, Trossard and Mount. It's pretty close. So I'd rather just spread the risk. What combination of goalkeepers would you say is best for a 5-man league when only 10 are drafted? Probably Ramsdale, Vicario. Pau or Dean for Villa defender. I think Pau Torres. I've got a feeling that Dean's not going to play, actually. I've got a feeling it's going to be Pau Torres at left. It's like a inside. Oh my god, it's my pick. What on earth just happened? Oh, they're all still here. All the boys I was just talking about. Well, Szoboszlai's definitely not going to come back to me, is he? So let's go. Would you drop Awenai or Ferguson for Hodgland? Yeah, probably would. I would probably take Hodgland. I think it's probably got to be. Oh, it's probably got to be Ferguson. I hate to say. I mean, Awenai's fixtures are rubbish. Yes, Modo, I did just say that. But as I was talking, I realised I don't actually own Szoboszlai in any of the leagues, and that I probably should have picked him in the previous round. Hence why I then went for him. Yes, if this was my first league and I had none of them, I probably would have gone for DRB. I do think there's more risk that DRB, there's more risk that Villa have a bad season than Liverpool, and yeah, bit of a coin toss. But I don't actually own Szoboszlai in any leagues. I got confused with who I had in the SnakeDraft League. I actually own Mount and not Szoboszlai. Got confused there. Generally, I try not to worry about the different leagues and just try and pick the best picks. But sometimes during the draft, it is something to help you make one of those like coin toss decisions. Emery tried out a 5-back in pre-season with the winger as a hybrid wing-back. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Emery's a bit of a weird guy. Like, he is not predictable, really. Can you rate my team? Yeah, I've got time, I suppose. Onana and Pickford. I like it. Gabriel, Stones, Burn, Emerson Royale, Colwell. Salah, Foden, Matoma, Eze, Buendia, Jackson, Cunha, Raul. Nice. Yep, good team. The midfield's really good. Jack's Forwards are solid. You might want to look at Raul Jimenez, but I like it. 8-man league, good team. Oh yeah, anyone that I missed earlier for the rate my teams, start sending them in, and I'll get through them. Why are people just quickly? Why are people low on Robertson? Mainly because he's kind of with Trent in this like inside role. Robertson's kind of playing left centre back, so I don't think he's much better of a pick than like Kanate. So I'm just not that interested, really. I'm just not that interested. Wow, Solly March. Adam Cowie, you thought I was going to miss you. 10-man league. Kepa, Sanchez, Estupinan, Martinez, Shah, Tarkovsky, Zuma, solid. Rashford, Matoma, Morgan Gibbs White, Kulusevski, Paqueta, Watkins, Ferguson, Solanke. You auto-draft Zuma. I thought you were going to see auto-draft the whole team. I was like, wow. I knew this was going to be a good midfield as I was reading the defence, because you can always tell the people that have prioritised midfielders when like the best defender is like a Estupinan or Martinez or someone. And the midfield didn't disappoint. It's good. Front line solid. It's a good team, Adam. Fancy Richarlison as a backup in this situation? Maybe. I also think I don't like Richarlison, and I don't think he's very good, and I don't really want him, and he seems to get more bookings and goals. So even if he's playing up front, I'd rather just be done with it and just not get involved. Kevin, 8th man, 4th pick. Pickford, Fabianski. Good. Like that. Trippier, me, Pedro, Porro, Tete, Timber. Good. Rashford, Anthony, McAllister, Eze, Gibbs White, Kane, Alvarez, Ferguson. So it's a really good team. I wonder, what round did you get Kane? 2nd round, I assume? That's pretty good. If he stays, it's an amazing team. Rashford and Kane, what a combo. Modric goes. I kind of had my eye on him. That's a shame. Defence is really good. The midfield could do with a bit of work. I'm not a massive fan of the McAllister pick. I think he's just going to be playing a little bit deep. Anthony's obviously a bit of a risk. Alvarez and Ferguson a bit of a minute's risk. It's good. It's strong. But I would probably want someone a little bit more reliable than McAllister, I think. Have you used Fantrax? I have. I like Fantrax. It's great. It suits some people really well. It's really fun. The one thing I don't like is I don't like the mid-game week substitution system. I like the set and forget of FPL where you can set your lineup and then just see how the dice fall. I much prefer that. But Fantrax is great. I think they're 2 different games, and I think both have their place. Right. 2 turns until it's my pick. Who are we going for? Who have we got here? Oh goodness, the midfielders are looking a bit thin, aren't they? A lot of my boys have gone. Where's my gang? Well, I don't want Sancho. I suppose it's a 4th mid, and I've got 2 good forwards, so it's not that much of a disaster. I do prefer Modric over Sterling at this point, yeah. I just think he's looked much better in pre-season. Benrahma goes. That's another good mid. Oh, there's some fun defenders left. I'm gonna go for Chilwell. I think I don't own Chilwell, and he's great fun. He's looking good. Neil, 10-man, 7th pick. Martinez, Leno. Gahey, Chilwell, Gabriel, Botman, Burn. That's good. Son, Bruno, Soboslai, Barnes, Morgan, Gibbs, White. That's really good. Jesus, Darwin, Morris. Love it. Good forwards. Midfield's amazing. Defence is just like standard, solid. That's a good team. Thoughts on João Pedro? I think he's a brilliant pick. I think he's an absolutely brilliant pick. To be honest, I think he's a fantastic pick. Not got much more to say than that. To be honest, I just think he's looks like he's going to be on penalties. I think he's going to play majority of minutes to start with. Looks really sharp. Sanchez purely for coverage. We'll chuck him out after game 1. Yeah, that makes sense. What round do you usually draft goalkeepers who you have a favourite for value? Kevin, you can go and watch a full video on that. Actually, don't watch it after the live stream. But I like a keeper rotation. I generally, about round 10 is where I start looking at it, generally. Unless Alisson, if Alisson's there in 9, I'd probably go for him. Calvert-Lewin goes. That's interesting. Who's just gone there? James, Pedro Porro, Calvert-Lewin. Not mine, but if you want a horrific one from our 10-man, Kaminsky, Lloris. Yeah, that's not good. Varane, Webster, Pinnock, Cancelo, Cucurella. Oh my goodness. 3 starters there. Not bad 3 starters, but they need some waivers. Rashford, Jota, Casemiro, McAllister, Bailey, Nketiah, Martial, Lukaku. Oh my god. Send him my way. Send him my way. You can't have that stinking out your league. Send him my way. Right, time for another pick. And I think I might just save a couple of midfielders slots for just some absolute punts. I don't have any Arsenal, which I don't like. There's forwards. There's plenty of forwards left. I'm going to go another defender, I think, which is kind of unusual. I'm going to go for John Stones. I think John Stones is an absolute winner. You got Kane second. Yeah, nice. Do you think I should start Wissa over Bernardo Silva? I'd probably start Bernardo Silva, I think. No, I think I'll start Wissa. 10-man, 3rd pick for Simon. Simon's thinking, oh, I'm going to miss him again. But no, I've got you. Trafford, Gahey, Gvardiol, James, Robinson, Eze, Soboslai, Tonali, Wilson, Kane, Jesus, Mitrovic, Ferguson. I don't love the Tonali pick, I must admit. And I'm a little bit worried about Trafford because I think there's a decent chance that... Do we know if Trafford starts? Like, is that locked in? I'm not sure it is. Unless something's changed recently, I think Muric is going to start. In which case you don't have a keeper. Because I assume you've dropped your second keeper, to pick up Mitrovic potentially. I don't love the Tonali pick unless you've got Kante points, which you might do if you've got flex positions. But the rest of the team I really like. I mean, to get Kane, Jesus, Szoboszlai, Eze, yeah, it's a good team. Do you prefer Modric? Oh, I answered that. I do prefer Modric over Sterling, mainly just because of pre-season. 11-team league, Fleck and Vicario. Nice. Shah, Porro, me, Ings, Anderson. It's good. I'm not certain Porro starts, but we don't know for sure. Saka, Mbermo, Gibbs White, Buendia, Balson. Really, really good midfield. Watkins, Solanke, Cunha. Solid. Good video. Again, good video? What am I talking about? Good team. Good team. Brandy Vang. 10-man. Third pick. Pope and Steele. Good. Zinchenko, Matip, Botman, Timber. KDB, Havertz, Bruno G, Benrahma, Diaby. Jesus, Isaac, Vinicius. Yeah, really good. 4 Newcastle players. I hope they have a good season. No, fun midfield. Good front three. I mean, there's a small chance that Jesus is injured, Wilson starts and Jimenez starts and you don't have a forward. But I don't think that's likely. Chill over Reece? Yeah, for me. It's just purely minutes. Rate my team. Pope, Pickford. It's good. James Carles's. Chilwell, Ruben Dias, Timber, Pau Torres, Rico Henry. Good defence. Very good defence. Saka, Maddison, Diaby, Bruno Gomes, Elise, Jackson, DCL, João Pedro. Love it. You got just the right amount of risk, injury, dabbling. I think it's really good. Really good. Right, it's nearly my pick. What have I missed? So I took Stones. Gabriel and Saliba both went. That's a shame. Stupinan, Elise, Cash, White, Edison. Is that the first keeper? Round 7. Oh, I hate it when people go Edison over Allison. I just can't understand it. Welbeck, Tielemans, Shaw, Dunk, Antonio, Ruben Dias. Okay, it's time. It's got to be. I've got to take Sancho, haven't I? Oh, 2 mids, 2 United and 2 Liverpool. I don't think I can do it. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. I hate myself for it. Oh, Pep Boy, I did miss you again. I've highlighted it. How did that happen? I've highlighted your name, so I'll do it in a sec. I promise I'm not doing it on purpose. Shah goes. I think I've got to take Sancho, haven't I? The value there is massive compared to the rest of them. I don't really want him, but I've got to. I personally would never pick Sancho. I don't think he's a particularly... I think the thing with a pick like Sancho is that it's worth drafting him in round 8 because if he's crap, you just drop him. Do you know what I mean? But there is a chance. We've seen him have unbelievable seasons, not in the Premier League, but in the Bundesliga, in the Champions League for England. Really good performances. And if by some miracle he gets that back this season, you've got him in the 8th round. It's a bargain. You might as well take the punt on it because the upside's massive compared to like a lot of the like. What's the upside of like Andreas Pereira? Okay, he has a marginally better season than last season. Probably his ceiling, but he doesn't have the same ceiling as someone like Sancho. So it's worth the risk, I think. But again, I don't like it. Right, Pep Bowl. I'm sorry for missing you twice somehow. 12-man, 5th pick, Kepa and Verbruggen. James, Konate, Udogie, Dean, Anderson, Maddison, Mudryk, Kulusevski, Pereira, Kluivert, Rashford, Jesus, Havertz. Is this fan tracks? I'm assuming this is fan tracks, just by the way you've laid it out. That Radisson. Oh, it's my pick. It's Cunha. I do already have Cunha and I don't like Wolves. I've still got no Arsenal. I do like an Arsenal. I think Zinchenko's going to be out a little while. I think we might see Timber for these first 3 games. How bad will the forwards get? Pretty bad. I'll take Edouard. Pep Bowl, is it fan tracks or is it official draft? And if it's fan tracks, is it official, like, is it fan tracks scoring or is it normal scoring? It is fan tracks. That's fine. Is it fan tracks standard scoring? FPL scoring. Okay, that makes it easy to look at. Let me scroll back up. The good thing about fan tracks is the positions are much more evenly spread. I mean, Rashford being a forward just makes way more sense. Rashford, Jesus, Havertz is good. Maddison, Mudryk, Kulusevski, Pereira, Kluivert. 12-man. This is a really good team. James, Konate, Udogie, Dean, Anderson. Yeah, you nailed it. I think you've absolutely nailed it. Because the midfield is actually a little bit tight in fan tracks, I find, with their scoring. Yeah, I think this is a really good team. Right, the question is, where was I now? Who did I get up to? I know I did James Carr. I think I might be at conflict. I don't remember doing this, but I might have. Flennon. What is Flennon? I'm just going to start calling Flecken Leno Flecko, I think, or Fleno. Fleno, Saliba, Walker, Young, Udogie, Henry. That's good. Good defence. Saka, Bernardo Silva, and Cesar Diaby, Szoboszlai, Jesus, Ferguson, Alvarez. You've got 3 attackers. I'd say you've got 4 risky attackers, and 3 out of those 4 probably aren't first choice. As in, Enciso, Ferguson, and Alvarez, I don't think are going to be first choice for game week 1. Bernardo Silva is risky as well, just by way of that. It's a Pep. You know, it's a Pep thing. So I might want to think about moving maybe in CISO on for someone a little bit more reliable, because I'd be worried about that. But the team's really good outside of that. 12-man league, 5th pick, Steele and Neto. This is Albino Giannis. Steele and Neto, Gabriel, Shah, Varane, Collins, Ward. Solid. Rashford, Diaz, Sterling, Billing, Danjuma, Jackson, Cunha, Amdouni. Good team. Forwards are a little bit unproven, but at least they all play. Rashford, Diaz, Sterling, Billing, Danjuma's very solid midfield. 12-man league, I think you've done very well there. Oh, Timber goes. Classic. Thoughts on Declan Rice? I don't think he's an FPL pick at this point in time, because I think in the games where I just don't think he's going to be getting forward. In the easy games, which are the games where Xhaka bombed forward, I think it's likely that he'll be playing as a number 6 and Havertz will be playing that central midfield role. So unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be an FPL pick. Jack O'Brien, 9-man, 3rd pick. Martinez, Raya, Stones, Gabriel, Miche, Gahey, Salah, Martinelli, Mudryk, Bowen, Gibbs, White, Pedro, Gakpo, Jackson. Forwards are great. Mids are really good. Defence is solid. Raya, you probably might want to move to Flecken or someone else if there's a decent option on the waivers to rotate with Martinez. But other than that, this team is really good. Salah, Martinelli +3. Salah, Martinelli, Gakpo, Jackson is unbelievable first 4. Who's gone? Who have I missed? Keeper. Load of keepers. Cunha goes. No surprises there. I'm liking this team though so far. Kane, Jackson. I mean, if Kane stays, you hear that a lot at the moment. But Kane, Jackson, Edouard, Diaz, Mount, Szoboszlai, Sancho, Chilwell, Stones. It's strong, isn't it? I'm happy so far. Okay, 6-man. First pick. Haaland, Jackson, Gakpo. Great. Diaz, Fernandes, Sterling. Fernandes got back to you. Bruno Fernandes got back to you in a 6-man league. Holy smokes. Yeah, this team is unreal. You've won, surely. TAA, this team's ridiculous. That's so good. Very, very, very good. Do you think there's more or less strikers about this year? I think there's less because there's just a few. There's only a few less, but there's a few more that are a bit more up in the air. The likes of like Mitrovic, Kane, like these are absolute nailed on ones we don't really have this year. Also, the likes of Sheffield United don't have a good forward. Burnley, Amdouni looks alright, but he's probably even not. I don't even know if he's really a striker. Whereas Leeds obviously had Bamford. You know, Saints had loads of strikers. They're all rubbish. Who else went down? Leicester, obviously. We had the Leicester forward bonanza. 3 of them all did my head in for the entire year. Oh my god. Round 10. Is it time to go for a keeper? I've seen a lot of keepers go. No. There's loads. So it's a defender. It's going to be a defender. And I think I will go for... Well, Konate screaming out at me, isn't he? Let's take him. I can bench him game week 1 if I need to. And then I'll take a final midfielder. This is the worst team in our league, from Simon. Vicario, Matip, Stones, Dalot, Akanji, Cucurella. All the worst teams in the league have Cucurella in, which is interesting. Sterling, Rice, Richarlison, Sancho, Gordon, Alvarez, and Ketty, Richarlison. Yeah, that does stink. No forwards to speak of. There's like a common theme with like the bad teams, and this is like what to avoid. No forwards, a couple of like non-playing players, and a CDM. That's like the blueprint to a bad team. Non-playing forwards, a couple of players that don't play, Cucurella for instance, and then like a CDM. I wonder why this happens. Why Stones over Gabriel? Gabriel ranked higher. It's a little bit of risk spreading. It's also the fact that I don't know if I've got that ranking right, because the Arsenal defensive numbers are not amazing. Gabriel has good goal threat, but Stones has ridiculous goal threat in his like central midfield role, and their defence is better. And I think he's going to play the vast majority. Who picked Wilson? What happened? Oh, for God's sake. Oh, that's annoying. Do I just bump into Gordon? Yeah, let's go for Gordon for game week 1. I think he starts. I think Gordon could be a good pick this year. Well, the attack looks good, doesn't it? I think Kane, Jackson, Edouard, Diaz, Mount, Szoboszlai, Sancho, Gordon. I have no idea who I'm going to bench. Probably. I have no idea who I'm going to bench. Absolutely no idea. Right, 2 defenders, 2 keepers. 14 turns to my next pick, and it'll be keepers. So let's just get them up now. I'll get my rotation spreadsheet up in a minute. 12-man, pick 11 had a funky draft, first ever draft. Johnson, Vicario, Trent, Akanji, Pinnock, Tsimikas, Trippier. His defence is not bad. I don't love Tsimikas. Gross, March, Eze, Andreas, Elise. The midfield is terrible. Alvarez, Wisser, and Ketia. See, this is a classic mistake that people make when they first play draft. And it's that they don't focus on attackers enough. You can pick up defenders. You can pick up 5 defenders every week. Literally waiver your entire defence every single week. And find clean sheets. You try and do that with midfielders and you've got no hope. First pick in the 12-man league, Neto Johnson. That's good. Pedro Porro, Shah, Patterson, Colwell, Moreno. Diaby, Sterling, Barnes, Maddison, Bowen, Haaland, Isaac, João Pedro. It's a good team. They're just a few minutes. Pedro Porro, everyone seems to think will play, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Emerson Royale could start instead. Patterson, I think, will play, but again, not 100% sure. Moreno's injured, so that's 3 maybes. Barnes may or may not start game week 1. Eddie Howe does like to ease people in. The rest is really good. So you might just be sweating the team sheets a little bit. But it's a good team. I mean, you've got Haaland and a load of good mids. 2 more good forwards. So, yeah, it's a good team. Road Hodgson rank among the forwards. I have him right next to Jackson. I think they're very, very similar. Right next to Jackson for Chelsea. If I put in a waiver right now, will it come in after game week 1? No, the first waiver deadline is on Thursday. 24 hours before the game week 1 deadline is the first waiver deadline. 8-man league, 8th pick. All half decent forwards went between my picks. Yeah, that'll happen. That will happen. Vicario, Pickford, Trent, Estupiñán, Shard, Dalot, Gahey, Odegaard, Havertz, Jota, Szoboszlai, Anthony, Solanke. Well, at least you made up for it with 3 first choice forwards. Solanke, Wissa, Edouard's absolutely nothing to sniff at. Midfield's really strong as well. Odegaard, Havertz, Jota, Szoboszlai, Anthony is great. Trent, Estupiñán, Shard, Dalot, Gahey. That's, solid. Trent's obviously fantastic. I think you've done really well there. Try and trade any of the mids for Nkunku? No, I wouldn't, because they're gone. He's gone for months. So Trafford starts plus that Flecken 2 for Brentford. Trafford starts. Okay. I need to research that. I don't know why. I just feel like Muric is going to start, but I need to look back over the preseason minutes again. I may well be wrong. Burnley's not my forte. Burnley's one of those teams I feel like I don't have a really good handle on. Okay, my picks in 4 turns. I need to get my thing up, my keeper thing, because I do not want to be caught with my pants down when it comes to keepers. Now, luckily, the good thing about being one end of the spectrum in terms of the draft, being 3rd pick, I can make my 2 keeper picks really close together around the turn, so I can go for a decent rotation, and if I have one in the back pocket, there should be no danger that I get you slurped. And even as long as I've got a backup, especially, it should be fine. Okay, Ramsdale's just gone. I've gone very quiet. It's basically the only part of the draft where my strategy actually really matters. And I can get usurped. Who's just gone? Neto. Vicario, I think, will be the one I go for. Three picks, and I have 2 good rotation options, so it seems unlikely that both of those options are going to go in the next 3 picks. But we shall see. You never know. How do the others look? Oh. Max, rate my team 9th in 9-man league. Leno, Kepa, Gabriel, Cash, Thiago Silva, Pinnock, Gahey, really good. Son, Diaz, Madison, Mount, Mudryk, strong midfield, really fun. Jesus, Awanai, Cunha. Yeah. A bit worried about forwards. I wouldn't be too worried. I wouldn't be too worried. Is Hodgson injured? Is that a thing? I didn't know that. I mean, there's no chance I get him really in any league, but did not know that. When would you take Nkunku? Probably end of the 3rd round, maybe 4th round with his injury. Buendia's underrated player. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Buendia. Underrated. Definitely agree. Flecken, Leno, Saliba, Cash, Henry, Cole, Anderson. Very good. Fernandez, Eze, Mbermo, Danjuma, Madison. Strong midfield. Danjuma's injury. Do we know much about that? Pickford goes. I will take Steele. Good keeper rotation in the bag. Vicario Steele. It's handy. Defenders. 2 defenders left. I definitely need a game week 1 starter. Definitely. Hopefully one comes round to me with a decent fixture. Andreas on set pieces and potentially pens. Yeah, Andreas is a good pick. Is Fantrax better? It's just different. I kind of spoke about that already, but it's I wouldn't say it's very similar, but it's different. It's got much more customization. Everyone that's in the chat, 131 viewers. I'm only seeing, maybe it's a glitch, I'm only seeing 27 likes. That can't be right, can it? Not with 131 current viewers. There can't only be 27 likes on the stream. That must be a glitch. So everyone just do me a favour and just go and like it anyway, just to double check, because that must be a mistake. There must be a mistake. And if you're not yet subbed to the channel, which I'm sure everyone is anyway, obviously I don't even need to say sub to the channel because I know you all are anyway. I was thinking about Brennan Johnson over Nsizu, but game week 1 fixture isn't ideal. Also, I don't think Brennan starts, which is a real weird scenario because he's maybe their best player, but also doesn't fit the system that works. And I don't think he's going to start against Arsenal. And I'm not sure when he is going to start because the system just doesn't fit him at the moment, which is weird. Keith, 12-man league, Leno, Kepa, Shah, Gahey, Powell, Kanate, Henry, Salah, Havertz, Richarlison, McNeil, Morgan, Gibbs, White, Raul, Isaac, Wisser. Forwards are a little weak. Midfield is great. Well, McNeil's injured. Richarlison, if Kane stays, is a bit rough. Raul, we're not sure really who starts. The rest are good. I'd probably drop McNeil for just because he's picked up this injury for an absolute guaranteed game week 1 starter, because you might need him potentially. Do you think Down Jr. is worth holding through his injury? I don't actually know how bad it is. I'll be honest, I really don't know how bad it is. Oh, I'm getting behind on the chat again. I'm just going to skip over the rate my... I'm going to come back to the rate my teams. And I will remember that the next one to do is Joe Almond. But I'm going to skip forward a bit and then come back. Why Edouard over Cunha? I think Palace are a slightly better attacking team. They're both pretty much guaranteed to start. Cunha's probably a better player. Palace are a better team. It's kind of a coin toss. Guessing you back Kane to stay. I mean, the bookies do. I don't know anything, but the bookies are saying 80% he stays. So that's what I'm going with. Fernandes fell to me because a few defenders went early. Wow. Turner to Forest. Figured he'd be on the move when Arsenal got Raya. Yeah. Turner could be good. Yeah, I love a Forest keeper. Absolutely love a Forest keeper. Nothing wrong with the Forest keeper. They concede a lot of long shots, which is ideal. If I put in a waiver right now, it would come in after week 1. I spoke about that already, actually. It will come in on Thursday. Do you back João Pedro as a pick? Absolutely, I do, yeah. Really good pick. Probably on pens. Brighton are amazing. Love it. There's no excuse to pick a DM, pick Billing or Harry Wilson. Completely agree. Completely agree. I think João Pedro probably will start, but that is not a guarantee at all. Brighton are a nightmare. I think Brighton are going to be an absolute nightmare this season, like even more than normal. How goes a waiver for game week 1? Just works as normal, but they go through Thursday. 24 hours before the deadline, then you get 24 hours of free. What position is best? I think first is best this year because of Haaland and the limited forwards, and you guarantee a really good one. So I think first is the best this season. Jimmy picked Anderson. That's annoying. If Emerson does play right back, Porro will just play right mid. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Will you be live Thursday, Friday? Got my draft Wednesday night. Potentially. Not sure. I may well do a deadline stream, but I might not. I can't promise I will. I'm not sure. I might. I've got another draft. Well, I've got a draft tomorrow, but I definitely won't be streaming that. I've got a draft Wednesday evening. I may stream that one, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Where did Harvey Barnes go in this draft? He went pick number 32. 4th round, second pick. Pick 32. Which is about right, I'd say. About right. Oh, it's me next. Defenders. The watch list is getting thin. I could do with a good fixture for game week 1, and there aren't that many. Especially the home games. I'm really tempted to take a Sheffield United defender. Just because Palace are a historically bad attacking team. But I do have Edouard, so I'm not really going to want to do that, am I? I'll just take a Gued. Bournemouth away. I think Bournemouth will probably score. But we'll see. Zarawi from Burnley could be a Great outside pick. Yeah, agree. He's a good player. Danjuma out for a couple of games. What's the importance of a goalkeeper rotation? I just think it's the best way to maximise the points from your goalkeeper slot, as opposed to just picking the best keeper and hoping they do well over the season. You can get more points from that slot rotating good fixtures. There is a full video of it on the channel if you want to check that out after the stream. Would you start Game Week 1 Tarkowski? Yes, I would. I certainly would. Will you be changing up your ranking spreadsheet, or is that pretty much set in stone now? It depends on how much time I have. I would like to update it because it is stale. It's not that far off, but there are changes I'd make for sure. There are changes I'd make. It just takes time, and there's a lot. I've got a lot of drafts on at the moment. Which mid would you trade for Bruno Guimaraes if paired with a forward like João Pedro or Hodland? Pereira, Morgan Gibbs White, Douglas Luiz, Brown and Mudryk. Need to open up space. I don't really understand your question, to be honest. Who do I want here? Last pick of the draft. And I think I'll take is there anyone more fun left? I'm going to take, I've done this already in a different league, but I'm going to take Aurea for Game Week 2. I really like that Game Week 2 fixture. Sheffield United at home. And then I'm just going to drop him. Okay, so there's the team. Vicario, Steele in goal. Great rotation for those two. Pretty sure Steele's going to start. Chilwell, Stones, Konate, Aguerd, Aurea. 3 premiums and then a little defensive rotation at the end. Luis Diaz, Mount, Szoboszlai, Sancho, Gordon, 2 Liverpool, 2 United. I don't know how long those 4 will last. I'll be punching out trade requests, I think, but I'm happy with the value in the midfield at least. Kane, Jackson, Edouard. I'll be over the moon if Kane stays with this team. If not, there's work to do, but I'm still happy. But I'm happy with this team. I am happy with this team. Let's just have a quick glance at the rest of them. Who's Sam's finished? Martinez, Raya, White, Disasi, Walker, Mings, Dalot. A couple of risks in there, but it's not bad. Martinelli, Barnes, McAllister, Bernardo Tielemans, Watkins, Mitro. Could be weak up front. Ramsdale, Verbruggen, Saliba, Ruben, Varane, Udogie, Powell, Saka, and Burmo, Wilson, Darwin, Amanai. Not bad. Just go from the top. Edison, Trent, Martinez, Akanji, Igor, Webster, Foden, Matona. Ah, it's gone. Just like that. Oh well, I'm knackered anyway. How does this team look for Game Week 1? That's the question, isn't it? I hate how zoomed in this is. It's so annoying. And it's like impossible to... Does that fit? Just. So we'll have Steele in for Game Week 1. Chilwell, Stones, and Aguerd. Then who do I bench? Who do I bench? Who do I bench? I guess Sancho to start with, and then we'll see. Subject to change. I like this team though. I'm happy with this team. I am happy. Right, I'm very sorry if I didn't get around to rating your teams. I feel like I got through a good 100 or so. But as you can tell, I am knackered. Draft is finished. Happy with the draft team. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Drafts can be a little bit slow online, I find, but it's much easier when you've got people you can chat to in stream. So thank you all for joining me. Very much appreciate it. Like the stream if you haven't done it already. Half of you in the stream right now have not yet liked it, so hit that like button. If you've already signed up to the Patreon and you're new sign up this pre-season, thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. And you might be thinking, oh, look at all this stuff he's got in there. Well, probably the most valuable thing for the Patreon is actually the weekly cheat sheets that I make. And I'm not sure if I'm going to make one for Game Week 1 because I don't actually have any data to put in there yet or much to say. But certainly for starting Game Week 2, the Game Week cheat sheets are probably the most valuable thing. So definitely look forward to that. They'll be coming soon, very soon. Maybe I might do one for Game Week 1. I probably will. But other than that, if you haven't signed up yet, you definitely should. Because it's definitely, I think the people that have joined up so far would tell you it's worth it. So thank you all for watching. I'm sorry if I didn't get around to rating your team. I did as many as I could. And like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Riffic Ravi, thank you very much. Okay, I'll do it quick, just because you super chat. Anana Pickford, Estupinan, Chilwell, Powell, Shah, Konate, Saka, Son, Kulu, Gakpo, Solanke, Aonai, Gross, Diaby. It's good. It's very good. The midfield, I'm not a massive fan of the Gross pick, but the rest of it is very strong. Forwards might need a touch of work, although Gakpo Solanke is perfectly viable. Strong keeper, good defence. I'm not a massive fan of Kulu. Is there a way you could show the whole draft board? I wish there was. And there is on draftfc.co.uk, but I can't set it up right now. It's so annoying. All you can see is this big long list, which I can slowly go through if you want to pause at any point. What is happening with this website? Haaland, Salah, Kane, De Bruyne, Saka, Fernandes, Odegaard, Rashford, Martinelli, Foden was the first round. Pretty standard. But yeah, I don't understand why official FPL don't just, make that a thing. Be able to just look at the draft board. How hard would that be? But there's so many things on FPL draft that I would say, how hard would that be? And they don't do it yet. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And I'm getting out of here. So, good night.